Well, hello and welcome back to the garden. In case you're new here, my name is Brandon and I grow things in Zone 9B, Southeast Texas. And some of the things I grow are very mean. I'm talking about this tree here, and this is a tree that probably not many people in my area would grow on purpose, and well, that's because of the insane needle-like thorns that grow along it, but I see value in this tree, and that's why I'm growing it. And I want to talk to you today about how I maintain this tree and how I'm kind of sculpting it into what I want it to be. So first of all, this is it's got a couple different names: Acacia farnesiana, Vachellia farnesiana, or its Nahuatl name, I'm so sorry if I butcher any of that, is Huizache, which means many thorn, and it definitely has many thorns. So the reason that I'm growing this tree, I'm going to first get to my reasons, and then today I was kind of researching reasons that people grow this tree, and I want to talk about those as well. But for me, the biggest thing on this property was that I had trees as fast as possible. I want overhead cover. Like I said in my previous video, I want to feel like I am in the forest, a little fairy crawling on the forest floor, or living down there below the canopy, and that is my ultimate goal for this property and anywhere I live in the future. But the reason that I'm growing this one is, like I said, to get a tree very fast. I planted this as a seed no more than 3 years ago. I'm not kidding, okay? First of all, I think I'm unfortunately going to have to sacrifice this lantana real quick to show y'all the full structure of this tree. And Joey Santore would be so proud of me right now if crime pays but botany doesn't. This is technically an invasive species, but it is a sterile variety, so it's not like this individual one is a problem. I mostly grow lantanas because they are I think, a good nectar source, so they fit into my garden plan, whether they are truly native or not. And there is a native lantana, by the way, Lantana urticoides or Lantana horrida. So you can grow lantanas, and I would recommend growing the ones that are sterile, like all the ones that I grow. But back to the topic at hand. So now you can see the structure of this tree more or less. You might not be able to see past the stump there. And this is through, you see I've got the curve here. This is because of the kind of training that you saw in my previous video with the Texas sages / leucophyllums behind you. So I originally pulled the tree one way, and then it fought me really bad, especially during Hurricane Beryl. It just got ripped out. By the way, okay, yeah, I probably haven't inserted this video yet. So this is what this tree looked like. I believe this photo is going to be from last year around March. Photo or a little piece of video. It's insane how much this grew. And then for future videos' sake, also this is going to be footage of, or photos of what this area in general looked like. All right, switching to full frame for a minute here to show you just how big and tall this tree is. It's really incredible what this has done in just a few years. And as I said, this is partly why I chose it. So for one, the fast growth rate is why I chose it. And I honestly don't believe for a moment some of the estimations that you see online for growth rate of trees. I've gotten trees to grow so fast. Just through making sure they have water throughout the year. That works in my zone. It may not work in your zone because it does keep things from going dormant. But I mean, yeah, seeing what this tree has done, especially looking back at my records of how small this tree was last year in March, is just a year and a half ago basically, is incredible. And it was just a seed probably about 3 years ago. So anyways, on to, I've kind of skipped, yeah, the other reasons that people grow this. So I've actually got a list, but it's on my phone, which I'm using to record. So I'm growing it for the structure, the shade, and the soil building. So this is a leguminous tree, which means it's going to put nitrogen back into the soil through root nodules, or it can. And so I planted it for soil building. I planted it for the structure. I also do really like the thorns. They're very interesting. This tree also flowers very, very heavily in the spring, and the flowers are used in the perfume industry. They have been for a long time because they've got a really particular and nice fragrance. You'll actually smell this tree if you drive through where it's native in the springtime. Their scent will just be wafting through the air. And a few other things that I found out about it is that people tap this tree for resin, for the gum that it produces, and it's supposed to be a better binder, a gum resin, than gum arabic, and can be used for a few different things. What else did I find out about it? That's most of it, really. I have a list on my phone, like I said, but I want to go ahead and show you how I handle and prune this tree. Oh, hold on. I did think of another. Sorry, these videos are very unscripted. Another reason that I'm growing this is because I want to do artwork things with it. I want to take the wood and use it for carving. Apparently, you can use it for building tools and things. I'm not sure how hard it is, but it's apparently a pretty good wood for that. Although a little bit difficult to work with because of the thorns. I'm sure people a little bit tougher than me have found ways around that. So now let me go ahead and show you how I handle this tree, how I deal with it. So again, we have my trusty friend, the storage tote, and my other trusty friend, the long reach pruners. And basically what I do, if you can see here, let me see if I need to zoom in a little bit. I'm actually running out of daylight here, so yeah, we could definitely zoom in here. Perfect. Let me see, how far up can I see here? I'm gonna leave all of this in the video, by the way. So what I'm going for here, or I wanted to have, was one trunk. Not a straight trunk. We don't do straight trunks around here, but I wanted one trunk. As you can see, the tree said, no, I don't think so, we're not doing that. So I let it have multiple trunks, and we're just gonna work with that. I may eventually sacrifice certain ones, but I'm trying to let it do what it wants and work with it. The tree says, I wanna do it this way, and I'm just gonna listen. So, as I said, long reach pruners, and the way that I go about this is I will start at the tip of a branch that I'm going to be getting rid of. So I've got, I have been impaled. Oh my God. I'm going to start at the tip of a branch, and I'm just going to cut it into manageable pieces. I really like to do this in a kind of surgical way. I don't like to just cut a huge branch and then make a pile that I have to deal with. So I pretty much everything that I cut up, I do this way. But I will not mulch these in the mulcher because the thorns, I just don't want to deal with it. Anything with thorns eventually goes in the burn pile. So this one I'm going to have to kind of pull down. Another reason I do it this way is because I do occasionally like to run barefoot through the garden, and I would not want to step on these thorns. Hey, future Brandon, try to find it within yourself to put a little video clip of the thorns here. You can probably see them just from right here. It's definitely not that hard. But yeah, I have so far not stepped on any thorns because, like I said, my management practice for this has been pretty good. I don't think I would grow more than one of these because although I don't get over here and do this maintenance very often, it is a fair bit. I usually get out here just kind of randomly and decide to do this. And by the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much material. And I mean, that can be a good thing if you're using it in a certain way, but most of my plant material, I take down and use it as some kind of a a mulch, or yeah, I turn it into mulch for the plants. Oh, also, as always, this is really not a do as I say moment. This is just a showing what I do moment. This may or may not be the best time to prune a tree. In my area, I've always found that I can really prune whenever I want, and I've never really had any kind of consequences from that. So again, this is just what I do, and I'm not saying that it is the correct way or that it's right. Just hoping that you maybe get a few little tips and tricks along the way, or you decide to grow a mean tree like me. Now, I have a little bit of an inclination for growing things like this. I just think they're beautiful, but also I used to keep, if you've been around for a while, you know this, I used to keep venomous snakes as a hobby, and so I'm no stranger to danger. I don't keep them anymore. Texas has some very lax laws on keeping venomous animals, and lots of people take advantage of that. I'm lucky I made it out of that little phase with all of my fingers. I never got bit by any of them, but I kept rattlesnakes, different tree vipers, several different types of cobras. Hopefully I'm remembering to insert a little bit of footage of some of the old animals here. In case you haven't figured it out by now, this channel is really more of a Dear Diary channel, kind of like my Instagram, rather than a professionally done, nice and neat and tidy, like well-produced thing. And that's just how it's going to be, and I hope you'll stick around for that. And I hope you find some of what I do cool. But if you don't, you know, I guess there's an unsubscribe button somewhere. I'm not mean about it or anything, but yeah, I'm not gonna dance for the algorithm or anything like that. So, how much of this do I want to do on camera? I don't know. As you might notice, what I'm doing is anywhere along the stems that I've got branches like here, and I feel like they're too close to branches nearby, I'm just going up and pruning those off to clean up the trunk. I'm trying to keep the branches spread apart, which is why I will probably also sacrifice this branch today, although I am a little bit scared to do so because it is such a long branch. Sometimes I will just do this in sections. I'll get out here and do this once and then come back in a few weeks and do some more. If you prune too much off at one time, you kind of are prone to triggering the tree to send up huge suckers like the ones here, but these are a little bit older. You can see, thankfully, the tree kind of sacrificed those, and it hasn't been forcing them to grow as much as the two branches here. That's that whole apical dominance thing. And these pruners can handle pretty good sized branches. But not that one. Well, hey again, everybody. This is day 2 of this video, and I meant to do a little bit more and show y'all a little bit more of what I do with this tree. But unfortunately, the weather has changed, and it is very uncomfortable right now. A cold front blew through. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day now for this, so I can get this video posted. But like I said, essentially, I didn't get to finish, but my overall work that I was going to do with this tree is to cut off the lower branches and leave just the main branches, the main trunks. It is kind of multi-trunked. I don't know at what point you would call these branches rather than trunks, but you know, I've got one trunk up to this point and then it splits into 3 main ones. But yeah, I do love this tree. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt to deal with, but I think it is well worth it. And if you're in the southern United States or an area that's dry, I would certainly recommend that you think about adding a leguminous tree, even if it has thorns. Sometimes the mean ones are worth growing too. So until next time, I'll do more updates on this later, but I just want to get this video posted. So as always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you're into that sort of thing, and I'll see you in the next video.